Welcome back. Today we have 4 teams that I think won the NFL draft and 1 honorable mention at the end of the video. As always, I hope you guys enjoy. Leave a like for more NFL content and let's get into it. Number 1, and in no particular order, we have the Buffalo Bills. Had the 27th pick and traded up for Dalton Kincaid with the Jaguars at number 25. They already have a good tight end with the initials DK, that's Dawson Knox, but they also get Dalton Kincaid. And Kincaid may have dropped a bit because of medical concerns, but apparently he cleared all his tests and should be fine. The Bills definitely need playmakers. They are a great team, but just outside of Stephon Diggs, we're lacking any type of consistency at receiver. Kincaid had 70 catches last year and is a good yards after catch receiver. Round 2's pick filled a big need, and it was guard. They got O'Cyrus Torrence out of Florida. He's listed at 6'5", 330, has massive hands. He'll be a day 1 starter and definitely has some great strength and balance. Round 3's pick was linebacker Dorian Williams out of Tulane. Williams has shown great potential in coverage and is a crazy fast linebacker. With Tremaine Edmonds leaving for Chicago, that pick makes a lot of sense, and I like Dorian Williams a lot myself. Later in the draft, they added some more depth at wide receiver and guard, and overall, this was a productive draft for a team that's on the cusp of winning a Super Bowl. Next, we have the Philadelphia Eagles. To no surprise, they somehow got Jalen Carter at number 9 overall, traded up a spot with the Chicago Bears, and Carter, up until his legal trouble, was arguably going to be a top 3 pick and is also arguably the best defender in this draft. They add to their stacked defensive line that already has Brandon Graham, Jordan Davis, Fletcher Cox, Josh Sweat, Derek Barnett, and now Jalen Carter. And somehow at number 31, Nolan Smith was there and the Eagles took him as well. Nolan Smith has a ton of upside, and with the picks of Carter and Smith, they may have future replacements for aging veterans like Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham. They added offensive line depth with Tyler Steele in round 3, can play tackle or guard if needed. Steele has shorter arms, but his other measurables and test scores were above average. Sidney Brown and Keely Ringo were added to that secondary. Both guys were given good reviews by draft experts that I trust. So for a Philly secondary that, yes, they did lose CJ Gardner-Johnson, did what they could here to try to make up for it. Even Tanner McKee, the Stanford quarterback, was a solid late round pick. They have Marcus Mariota as the immediate backup to Jalen Hurts, but if Tanner McKee actually develops, he might be a good trade piece one day. Howie Roseman has been killing it for a few years now, so this is not really a surprise. Number 3, the New York Giants. Joe Shane's second draft was a home run. They traded up 1 spot for cornerback Deonte Banks. He's athletic and will be a great option opposite of Adoree Jackson. Round 2, they got the center they needed, John Michael Schmitz out of Minnesota. He's reliable, good in the run game on the move, good technique, and has a high floor. Jalen Hyatt, the wide receiver out of Tennessee, was taken in round 3, and the Giants absolutely needed a vertical threat. NYG was bottom of the league last year in explosive passing plays, and a player like Jalen Hyatt will help that out a lot. They now should have enough receivers for Daniel Jones. They did add guys in free agency, brought back Darius Slayton, Sterling Shepard, and now added Jalen Hyatt, of course, and of course the trade for Darren Waller. They took a potential backup to Saquon Barkley and Eric Gray. He's shifty and has good vision, and with their last 3 picks, they added a run stopper and a couple secondary depth options. The Giants got better, especially in their first 3 picks. The problem is that the Eagles may have separated themselves even more. But the good news for the Giants is that maybe they shrunk the gap between them and Dallas. Number 4, the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers barely missed the playoffs last year, but this draft got them much closer to that goal in 2023. In round 1, they traded up with the New England Patriots for Broderick Jones, and I remember in one of my mock drafts I had the Steelers trading up for an offensive tackle. Of course, Paris Johnson went very early, but getting Broderick Jones seems like a home run, and the Steelers definitely needed a left tackle, even for their run blocking, because Najee Harris had almost no holes to go through last year. Joey Porter Jr., who was the perfect fit, was traded up for on the first pick of day 2. Of course, his dad once was a Pittsburgh Steeler for a bit, and for a team that just lost Cameron Sutton, it just makes a lot of sense. Keanu Benton was taken in round 2 as well. Benton has a very strong upper body and is versatile. They also added Darnell Washington, the 6'7" tight end out of Georgia, who has a ton of upside and a lot of size, obviously. Even drafting Corey Trice in round 7, who I thought would be like a day 2 pick, is awesome value. The Steelers got better, but that entire division next year should be interesting in the AFC North, with Lamar Jackson adding some weapons in Baltimore, the Browns getting Deshaun Watson back for a full season, the Bengals with Joe Burrow, and of course the Steelers with Kenny Pickett in year 2. The improvements they made to that team, is it enough? And the honorable mention in there, I wanted to put the Arizona Cardinals, who had such a great haul from the Houston Texans for pick number 3. The Cardinals dealt the 3rd overall pick and pick number 105, and in return they got picks number 12, number 33, a first rounder for next year, and a third rounder for next year. And that first next year could be a very high pick, maybe number 1 overall. It's not like the Texans are some guarantee to be a good team next year, my goodness. But once again, if you're Arizona, you're not really playing for next year or maybe even the year after. This might be a 2 or 3 year process for them, unfortunately. So anyway, that will do it for this video. Leave in the comments which teams do you think won this draft. Hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, subscribe for more NFL content, and I'll talk to you guys next time.